Welcome back to the caster desk. I am Munchables. I'm joined by Lyric, and after 4 games of blue side winning every game, Top Esports have opted into the red side, Lyric.
I don't understand. I really don't know. We've had every team pick blue side. We've seen a lot of impactful things on blue side. It's typically gotten your team the stronger top lane matchup, which has been a big factor in a lot of these games, but
All right.
you pick red side.
We're in uncharted territory
Yes.
here. Even Lyric is speechless, and I think that's never happened before. He talks a lot. I'm excited, though, to see a full rematch from Spring, because we have the full 5 games once again. And Top Esports, even after losing that game, even after being pushed to Game 5 here, they're still coming onto the stage giggling to themselves. You still see the massive smile on Karsa and Knight's faces. They've got something up their sleeves here, Lyric.
Like, again, if they're going to come in, pick blue side their first 2 games, and now default to red side, there must be something up their sleeves. They must have some cheeky either a soul lane counter pick or a support counter pick that they're ready to pull out and just going to, completely change the game.
And my big question is, what does JDG still have left in the tank? Because it feels like they've already brought out a bunch of weird picks here. They've already brought out some interesting drafts for themselves. And now it's Top Esports' turn, who have played relatively standard so far across this series. JDG, though, on this blue side, banning away Orianna from Knight in that mid lane.
Yep, so they have kept their bans the same as the last game. I'm wondering if TES will keep theirs the same. Yep, there is the Renekton. Of course, the last game, JDG did first pick the Graves.
And you know what? Rinse and repeat. Why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't see why JDG would need to change their first pick coming into this one, aside from maybe go for the Ashe since it's been so successful.
Yeah, and okay, so JDG showing that, hey, maybe not going to stay stock standard. They realize TS have picked the side for a reason, and they do want to alter their game plan.
And so they go for this Zoe first, which is a blind pick we saw a ton way back in Spring. It was almost always blind picked on that blue side. And now over to Top Esports as they hover this Ashe that has been so high priority, and it will be locked in for Jackie.
And it's just such a versatile pick. Works well with a lot of the junglers in the pool, especially because it gives you that set engage. So those junglers with all this burst damage can come in and, get their job done.
So we are going to see the AD jungler, though, importantly locked in for the side of Karsa, which means we could well see Knight on a mage. We might not see that Lucian Zoe matchup once again. Over to the AD carries, though, as Loken looking to lock in this Jhin once more.
The thing that still jumps out to me is, are we going to see Kanavi go back to the Nidalee? He kept going to it in the first few games, and obviously in the last game was the first game where it's like, okay, never mind, I'm going to stay away from this pick. I'm going to be the one to first pick that Graves. It is still open. Obviously works quite well with the comp you've set up thus far because you have a lot of, poke and siege elements there.
My big question as well is that set. Never mind the set. We're seeing a Kindred hovered right now. And this is the late game carry from Kanavi that we know and love.
And this is the Kanavi special. He played it so much in spring, played it a ton in summer, and now bringing it back. But this is what everyone has wanted, Knight Syndra.
We see Knight on the carry that he really made a blast with back in spring, back at MSC as well. He came into MSC saying, look, I don't really see myself as a Syndra player, and then he blew away the competition on this pick. He's going to bring that to the mid lane and put some pressure on Yaga.
And honestly, moving forward into the draft, I would love to see Top Esports just pick up support on 4. It seems like getting that impactful matchup for 369 has been much better for them, especially in a series that bot lane has been defined by Leona, by Nautilus, by Braum. It's not going to be too big of a deal with whichever support you end up with.
I love how much respect Zoom has commanded in this top lane as well, with the Camille ban another time coming out from Top Esports, also banning away Lumao's Bard. And now to Yujanja once more. Both of these stock standard comfort picks we know for him in the Tahm Kench and the Braum. He's going to have to be on a playmaker, something like the Thresh.
Yeah, and again, those are the champions he looks best on. He's a very aggressive support. He likes looking for those engages, and getting him on something that can be a playmaker but also function as a frontline and allow Knight, Karsa, and Jackie Love to be those 3 carries is what we want to see.
The Leona might just be the answer here. It's locked in for Yujanja to protect Jackie Love in the bottom side, but also to be that primary engage coming out of the bottom side of the map. Now for the side of JDG. And the set being hovered right here could be towards Lumao in that support position. It's something he's played a good amount of across the course of the split.
Yeah, and of course they also need to blind pick top, which once again we've seen Zoom banned out pretty proficiently. This isn't a champion he's picked up for himself yet, but that is one he's most certainly played. We've only seen him pick up the Gnar as a counter pick into the Renekton, though.
That's the key thing here. This is the first time we're seeing Gnar as a blind pick for Zoom. It's always been an answer to Renekton, and now 369, he answers with a carry. This is the 369 that we wanted to see, him bringing his own dominance to the top lane.
If you're a team that relies on individual skill, that has the best players in the LPL, these are the picks to do it on. We have Knight on his Syndra, we have 369 on the Jace, Karsa performing so well on the Graves. We even have a bit of a front line and the engage set from the bot lane. So you have a lot of individualistic elements you can play through, but also you can see how the team fight and those early skirmishes can work.
And it feels like these two compositions so beautifully define what we expect from these two teams. It's been a bit of a weird series when it comes to compositions, but now we see JDG with a scaling team fight composition. And on the other side, Top Esports, they want to win lane, they want to win game, and they want Caster to control the jungle.
The thing that jumps out to me is JDG's comp is very durable, right? You have this tanky set, you have a Nart's going to get tanky in his Mega form, Kindred coming in with the ultimate, to where Top Esports comp is all about burst. So if TS can find those early game skirmishes, those early game engages, snowball ahead, that is the name of the game. If it does go longer, though, JDG's champions will be able to get through those early rotations of spells and be able to take this one.
And I have to say, looking at the player cams, generally speaking, it's felt like Top Esports are in higher spirits, but Zoom, he's got a little bit of a grin to his face, so maybe JDG feeling good on the draft as well. It's maybe split evenly as we head into game number 5 in our rematch of the spring finals. Neither of these teams has ever won the LPL summer before. And JDG, they want their golden year, but Top Esports, they are desperate to prove themselves on this stage and crown themselves as the LPL champions. We have our dual Gyos there competing with one another as we head onto the map for the final game of the finals here, Lyric. And I have to ask straight off the bat here, when we look at the compositions, who are you looking at here? Who's your favorite?
I really like what JDG have put together because, again, we talked about how it has that durability to outlast what TES have put together. We can even see the Colonel kind of showing it in the later stages. If JDG can get there, JDG are heavily favorited. So TS, it's all about finding these early game advantages. They have a much smaller time window to execute on, but hey, they're looking for it.
They're going to try and make a play at level 1. Yanja getting body blocked by Jackie Love there. As they're just going to back away, don't find anything in the end. And we'll just return to standard lane starts. But look where Caster is on the map right now. He's starting alone on his red buff.
I love that we have triple phase rush top side. It makes sense, right? These have been 3 of the standard runes for these specific champions. As you said, Caster going to start alone top side, so it's denying information to the side of JDG. I like that in the game 5. You don't know necessarily where he's starting.
Look at how they're starting this one off on the bottom side as well. They don't walk into lane until a little bit later, making sure that JDG do not have knowledge of where the enemy is starting, and it's Top Esports that have the Ashe, so that hook shot can't deny any of the information to you.
Ooh,
Face break on Yanja. They're going to try and force a fight for themselves. Jackie Love trading aggressively. Both teams will back away, but they're fighting for dominance in this bottom lane before level 2 comes in.
And we even see Karsa pathing towards the bottom side, so maybe going to look for some early action. And it looks like JDG's wave is pushing in, so potentially going to be set up for some good early game ganks.
JDG setting up for this level 2. Lumao will look for a face breaker. Does get onto you. Yanja roots there as well. Aftershock times out. There's a face breaker. One more auto would do it. And the flash forward. Loken and Lumao dropping the L.
Exactly. In game 5 of the final, Loken and Lumao being the ones to step up to punish the rookie support in Yanja.
And Yanja is the one to take that L on this one. Karsa now. He's too late to the play. He wanted to play around this bottom side of the map, but he can't do it without his support.
Nice play coming out from JDG. Lumao didn't even have to use his flash to get on to Yanja, though. Just a bit of a mistake coming out from him. Loken, of course, blowing that flash to get aggressively and secure that kill for himself.
And importantly, Yanja could have flashed himself. He didn't expect the flash forward from Loken. He didn't expect the level of aggression that JDG were willing to bring out in that bottom lane.
It's, you know, that reputation, man. It's following him over these years. Even his, you know, competitors aren't giving Loken the respect he deserves.
And let's bear in mind that Lumao, This pick, when you talked about Loken in spring, we talked about the Kalista that was so prevalent for them. It was alongside Lumao on Set so many times. That combo was devastating. And Set, even without a Kalista, still has terrifying amounts of pressure in the early game. Kanavi's moving topside, though.
369 doesn't have any mana.
He's got a ward, though. Zoom not going to start the fight early enough, so Kanavi can't get anything done on this one. And I think Kanavi may be going to suspect that there is a ward there after all. He's just going to have to settle for Croaks.
And 369 is going to go check. He, of course, had the Biscuits and Corrupting Potion, so...
The smite comes out from Kanavi. 369 finds himself a 1v1. Kanavi cannot win this early, but with Zoom moving in, 369's got to be careful. Not much mana remaining, but he's still going forwards. 369 showing confidence in this top lane.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's still going to stick around or if he's going to look for an early back and, you know, look for a TP. You're playing a J, so it's not like you save your TP for a play on the bottom half of the map. It is about asserting that lane dominance, getting your own vision, getting your own pressure, and starting to take these turret plates.
Yeah, Jay's not really much of a flanker, it has to be said. He wants to be with the team, and that can be said across the board, really, for top esports. When you look at the way that they're going to function later into the game, it's about finding an Ash Arrow, it's about Leona going in, and the rest of the team there to follow up on the play.
Exactly. It's a lot about this pick potential coming out, the Eugenic Crystal Arrow, a nice scatter of the week, a nice ultimate coming out from Yuyanja, and then burst. Those are the two key words you need to understand for top esports composition. For JDG, though, again, it's just, they just need to survive. They just need to get through this early game. They still have strong elements in lane to play around, though, as we saw with the CC coming out from the set if Kanavi wants to look for a gank. Of course, we've seen how the Zoe works, can move to both sides of the map, throw out those sleepy trouble bubbles. And even the Gnar, if you go up top at the right time to Mega, you can find some nice plays on the 369.
Both junglers on the bottom half of the map right now. As the Hawkshot spotted out Kanavi. Karsa, the side of JDG don't know where he is currently, so could try and make a play. Dragon has now spawned onto the map. And this is the first time that we're seeing both teams immediately start to focus on that half. Ooh. Oh, no way does Logan get caught there. Has to use his cleanse. Ignite came down from Yuyanja, and now he's the one caught. Karsa arrives on the play. They won't quite finish off this Leona. That was a little bit of an overstep from Yuyanja.
Exactly. They were the ones looking for the engage onto Loken. Sure, Loken had to blow his cleanse, so overall it was probably a net win. Yuyanja using the Ignite as well. But still, we see TES bot lane forced to recall, and it looks like Karsa is going to look for a cheeky Drake.
Yeah, even though his bot lane is recalling, because Kanavi wasn't a part of that play, it's safe to assume he went towards that top side, and it means that Karsa's going to be able to grab this Drake for himself. But it does mean that we are not going to see just a straight-up trade of the Drake for the Herald like we have in previous games in the series. We could still see both teams contest for that Rift Herald.
And I want to see top esports comp contest for this Rift Herald. When we said, hey, they're the comp that needs to accelerate the game, they need to get ahead early on, we want to see them forcing and looking for these early skirmishes.
And I want to quickly mention something that JDG, despite the fact that they've only got one kill on the board, they have a 10,000, they have a 1,000 gold lead. Hang on, we've got Kanavi caught out here. Karsa gets away. Yeah, I can't count very well, apparently.
Massive bias caster coming in right here.
I'm talking about what I want to see. Now, I actually predicted top esports, so now we're in game 5. I'm hoping for a TES win. But honestly, I'm completely unbiased at this point. I just want a great game 5. That's all I want out of this stage.
Karsa.
Yeah, Gao jumps in. Look at that. That is just gorgeous to watch.
Finding that window all by himself, setting that one up, and we were questioning earlier, do they have the capacity to come back from being 2-1 down to TS? And now we're into game 5. They have the lead that you talked about. Lumao's roaming on the map. Kanavi's here.
Kanavi's already onto Yuyanja. Stun comes out onto Night. Trouble Bubble doesn't quite connect.
He almost walked into it himself.
Did have the cleanse still available, so I think he would have been all right on the back of that one. But my goodness, we're starting to get into the territory where the teams are waking up a little bit and getting active on the map.
Nice comes in with the Paddle Star Flash and the Red Smite, of course, the passive as well, being a bit of a Lich Bane, so does more damage as well. Enough to burst out Karsa.
Beautifully done here. And Yaga, obviously with the spellbook this time around, it's worth mentioning, all of the other Zoes in the series have been Ignites, or I think we saw a Dark Harvest as well. Like, this one is going to be that unsealed spellbook, so keep your eyes on him during these dragons, during these barons. Yagao has the ability to steal those objectives away.
Yep, going for the spellbook in this matchup. It's not something like the Lucian matchup where, again, Lucian's going to be constantly dashing in your face, looking for those heavy trades. Instead, goes for this type of utility that you get from spellbook that obviously does much better later on in the game. And when that's already where your comp should completely outperform TES, I like that they're indexing into that even more.
So let's take a moment to look across the board here, because when you look at the CS numbers, we are almost dead even across all of the lanes here. Even with this Jace in the top side for 369, Zoom's doing a good job to stay even in CS. Even the junglers are relatively close as well. But when we look at the gold overall, still very much in favor of JDG. They have that 1,000 gold lead. And as we head towards this Rift Herald, do you give an advantage to either of our teams?
I definitely favor TS right now, especially looking a bit more at items, right? We see the Blasting Wand coming out for Knight over Yagao as well. 369 sitting on that serrated Dirk, so having that nice lethality. And this just feels like a good time for all of the members of TS.
Speaking of the members of TES, Jackie Love is moving up towards the mid lane here. Has his Enchanted Crystal Arrow available. That's going to be the portal used, but Yagao doesn't get hit, manages to avoid it, even with the Scat of the Week there. And that's going to be a big ultimate used by the side of Top Esports, but I think with the fact that Loken's still in the bottom side, they should still be able to grab the Herald for themselves.
It looks like he's actually making his way up, though, so potentially going to posture, try and force TS off this one, and buy time for Loken to join.
Zoomin is exhausted, though. He just came out of Mega Gnar, so he is not in a position to fight right now. JDG don't care. They're still going to try and make this one happen. Clean's going to have to be used here by Knight. Forces the flash as well as Yagao tries to follow it up but can't get the damage in. Showstopper across the team. Coming through from the jungler, or from Lumao, sorry. And now Curtain Call across the squad as well. No cleanse available for Knight as he's caught by the Battlestar and taken down by Kanavi. JDG, they wanted the fight and damn well they found it. Now a kill coming out for the top laner, but Kanavi survives with the Lamb's Respite. Looking for a dive now as 369 trying to escape. Jackie Love has no summoners. Yagao cannot miss a bubble.
It's game 5. Yagao takes away Knight's champion and is completely delivering in this game.
Yagao is showing his quality in this game. Zoom now moves to the bottom lane as he's looking for more. And this is something to behold.
We're 3K gold ahead on a comp that definitely should outscale. Top Esports are going to need some magic.
Let's take another look at this, because Knight, this is not the player you expect to be caught out, steps into the bubble.
And it happens twice, right? It's going to happen once again up here. We see Yagao go forward, gets those spells, uses it to get the Nimbus Cloak for the speed. Once again, very beautiful bubble comes out, sets up for the burst. They keep going forward. Zoom on the opposite side, taking down Yuyanja. Yagao once again going forward. Kanavi coming in with the ultimate to make sure no one gets bursted out. And again, another beautiful Sleepy Trouble bubble.
And I love that Yagao is happy to walk under the tower to get that one as well. He was tanking the tower, still had a pocket flash available with the Spell Thief. And he has got to be feeling good off the back of that. He's currently got a stopwatch, so keep your eyes on the stasis in this fight. This Top Esports start off the Dragon. It looks like JDG are just going to allow this one to pass.
Yep, Zoom is going to give it up. Doesn't have TP, 369 not showing on the map, so JDG don't feel comfortable. But, you know, this also reminds me of the story of Yagao and Knight's friendship, not only coming from the same city, but they did play on the same team in that PC Cafe, and they actually thought that Yagao was the better mid laner, so they let him play mid on the team where Knight was just filling.
And you know what? This Zoe was the first pick for JDG against a team that is renowned for playing around a Zoe. This had to be a performance and a half out of Yagao, and he's showing up so far. Jackie Love throws out the Hawk shot. Looks like he is going to recall here. I've known him stick around greedily before, though. Looks like he'll finish off the recall. JDG don't find anything.
Uncharacteristic
respect
coming out from Jackie Love.
You don't usually say that about top teams, but Jackie Love is a player of his own kind.
I mean, I love it. I love the disrespect. I love how Jackie Love plays for, you know, every step forward, every minion, but goes for the reset. They are going to give Loken and Lumao room to push this wave in. And once again, we don't have any objectives up on the map. We need to remember that Karsa does have the Rift Herald.
And I just want to remind everyone what is at stake for these two teams here. I don't have time for that because Top Esports are looking to make a play. Lumao is really not the ideal target, so Yuyanja not going to be willing to go for the Zenith Blade here. Dragon's not up for another 3.5 minutes, so Karsa obviously can't find anything in the bottom side for now. But the Rift Herald still in his inventory, and we'll see if he'll go towards that bottom lane or whether he tries to get some gold over to Knight in that mid.
Oh, God.
Another bubble from Yagao. Another massive chunk of damage. Knight is struggling in the mid lane. And we've been talking about Knight. We've been talking about Rookie in the LPL. Yagao putting his own name forward.
And he's always had these few champions that he really excels at. He really does look like an S-tier mid laner. It's always been a bit of a question mark once he gets past those, but hey, if you have, 5 to 8 champions that you look like a top 3 mid laner on, I feel like that's enough.
That is called being a world-class mid laner right there. And now Kanavi moving towards the mid lane as the Herald will be dropped on the bottom side of the map. And you can see on your mini-map, JDG are moving over to try and answer the play. Plates go the way of Jackie.
Oh,
another bubble.
One. It just doesn't miss.
He cannot miss. These are heat-seeking bubbles out of Yagao this game.
Even has the GLP on his W to set him up if he wants to look for another one on Knight, but I want to turn our attention back to the gold advantage because JDG are 4K up. This game is firmly in the hands of JDG, and for TES, at this point, I feel like you're looking at some sort of sneaky play where, maybe you are giving up a turret bot or, a couple wave spot, recalling Jackie Love and Uyanja, rotating them top and looking for a pick.
They're going to deny the recall. 369 is in a whole world of hurt right here. Kanavi trying to chase this one down. Yagao can't get the bubble, though. He will have to back away. 369 surviving. Didn't even have to use his flash here.
Yep, nice play coming out from JDG, but 369 is able to get away. But going back to my point, I feel like at this point, TS are in a position where they will have to sacrifice something to try to get more back on the opposite side of the map. And the harder play to react to would be recalling your bot lane, throwing out that Enchanted Crystal Arrow topside, trying to get a pick on the Gnar, and turning that into something with the Herald coming up soon.
We'll see. I mean, Gnar is definitely not one of the champions that's easy to pick off. The hop keeping him incredibly safe on the top side. Even if he's Mega Gnar, he might just 2v1 you at that point, because Mega Gnar is damn scary at a skirmish.
I kind of actually expect them to go for the opposite when you pointed it out, that they'll probably just give up the Rift Herald, honestly, and just commit to taking the bot lane turret. The bot lane turret's on like 5% HP anyway. But
oh my goodness, look at that top lane difference right now. Zoom is miles ahead of his counterpart. Obviously got the 2 kills during the fights, but already having that Black Cleaver and a Jorum's Fist as well.
I'm just saying, Zoom and top diff seem like synonyms.
That's very true. Zoom making a very clear case as one of the best players in the world. Never mind just in the top lane here. But I want to revisit something I mentioned before of what this series actually means for these two teams, because Top Esports, they've never won the LPL before. Knight and 369 have constantly been trying to prove themselves, and they've got Worlds. They're going to make it to Worlds. But this is so much more than just making it to Worlds. They want to go to Worlds as China's representative. And JDG, they've won LPL in spring, but now they want to get the back-to-back win. They want to go to Worlds. They want to be the team that the world is in fear of.
There's another part to it as well, as getting first seed, being able to dodge a team like LCK's first place, whether it's a team like Damwon or LEC's first place.
Hang on, Kanavi. He's going to be all right. Unleashed Power used that by Knight. Doesn't have enough damage to one-shot carry just yet, but 369 might. As Yagao has to use his stopwatch for himself. Still has flash available. Arrow going to go wide, and that's going to be a trouble bubble coming through onto Knight. Doesn't use the cleanse, realizes there's no follow-up. Zoom's about to turn Mega. This should be enough of an advantage now for Top Esports to find themselves a dragon. Zoom just leaping away as 369. He's gone too far, and there's some flashes from the Gnar, though. Keeps himself safe. Back onto the dragon they go. Kanavi wants to go for a steal here over the wall. Trying to get into the pit, trying to get himself the dragon. It goes the way of Casa. Loom out on the front line, but Kanavi goes down. This fight is going the way of Top Esports. The root comes out from Loken. Curtain Call to follow it up. Yagao has to go huge here, and he does! Onto Uyanja. Knight getting chased down, and he can't escape the Gnar here. Flashes over the wall to keep himself alive. Yagao wants some more. Trouble bubble goes through. Won't land this time. The root is not going to be happening because no damage has happened onto Jackie Love. Top Esports, they're getting away with murder here, but importantly, now on Soul Point.
Exactly. It was a 2-for-2 overall now on Soul Point. And I'd say the more important thing to this is they're one step closer to getting that Elder Drake out onto the map, because once again, the longer this game goes, the more dire of a situation they're in. They want to get this early Elder. They want to try and pick that one up themselves, and try to translate that into, an early Baron and start to close out this game.
And it's worth mentioning as well that if a Cloud Soul comes through for the side of Top Esports, 369 is going to be comparable to Usain Bolt with the Ghost Blade as well. As you can see, Uyanja getting targeted as the start of this fight, but Leon is tanking.
Yeah, and then we see Kanavi trying to get in around and seal the Drake, which makes him go down quite early. The set also getting taken down by Karsa, but 369 getting burst down on the opposite end. And, you know, I was going to say, we're going to pay attention to the left side of our screens to see that JDG are going to be the ones who are able to take this Rift Herald, and TS not in a position to respond because they still are quite a bit behind.
So, we're toggling vision on the bottom side of the map there. I think it's just that Top Esports... they finished the tower a while ago. I'm not 100% sure here. Loken, he wants to finish this tower off. Needs to be cautious quite how far forward he steps as Carson moves into the play. Yuyanja's off on the side as Kanavi starts off his red buff. Yuyanja wants to contest, so flash forward for the Zenith Blade. In comes Carson with the Solar Flare. The CC is enough to lock him down and finish off the kill. Scout of the Week goes wide, but Top Esports, they're happy with a pick on the jungle.
And those are the types of decisive plays you need to make when you are behind, pulling your trigger at the smallest moment. Great job coming out from Yuyanja.
Jackie Love now slowed by the curtain call, but his lifesteal is enough to just take this one. He's happy on the front line to just sit there.
I love that.
The disrespect as well is beautiful.
And just look at his face. His facial expression is just still as calm and serious as ever.
I mean, when you think back to the Trash Talk video, Jackie Love was the one guy that was just not afraid. This was beautiful from Yuyanja.
Yep, Flash, Zenith blading in, throws down the ultimate, and then Karsa with the burst combo to make sure they pick up that kill in the end.
If we're on the pro view, the camera just stays exactly in the middle of the fight the entire time. Really nicely done here from Yuyanja, and it's so good to see Yuyanja performing in the final. The most criticized player on this entire team. A lot of people were saying that he wasn't worthy of Top Esports. Yagao, is he going to be able to do it? The minion wave ruining everything, but the Paddle Star to deny the recall, dodges the stun, but it's actually going to come through in the end anyway. Kanavi jumping underneath the tower, but Knight with the Phase Rush gets out.
Phase Rush is absolutely busted. It's showing us why right there. Also the Nimbus Cloak coming in once he procced the cleanse, so getting a ton of value from that movement speed.
Andrew on the flank here, but they're not going to go for anything just yet as JDG now push into the enemy jungle. They've got to start to find some significant advantages. 1.5 minutes until the Dragon at 369's been found. No flash available, and he will be collapsed upon. Carster's here as well, but that might just be a bonus kill. Kanavi gets the first one, and they will back away off the back of the play.
369 was so close to being able to get away. Sadly, in the end, he's not. Just going to be a nice bit of gold for the side of JDG. Also, Kanavi going to be able to pick up another mark on the Scuttle Crab. And just going to be a bit more control before this next Dragon comes up in 1 minute.
We'll have to see, because this Dragon is going to mean everything for the side of Top Esports. They would love, and even though it's a Cloud Soul, sure, it's not the most impactful soul, it's still going to matter when you've got this much hard engage on your team to follow up with that movement speed, the 10% passive movement speed on top of it, and then more importantly, getting yourself towards that Elder Drake. That 50-50 can be their win condition.
Exactly. When they're 3k gold behind at this point, again, it's looking like more dire and more dire as the game goes on. Getting yourself in that position where you have the 50-50, but I kind of like what TS are doing right here. We saw Karsa hiding in the brush. It looked like they were going to potentially set up a bit of a cheese play, but instead not going for it. They just have them group mid, push out for Pile. 369's making his way over now.
Here we go.
And even Zoom. Zoom's Mega's going to be down.
Mega is going to be down. It's still 15 seconds until the Drake comes up, but Zoom, he's not going to turn into Mega now for a little while here. And as we head into this, what looks like it's almost definitely going to be a team fight, what have I got to keep my eyes on here, Lyric?
Definitely the CC coming out from Yuyanja, and then the burst from Knight. If Knight can get off a massive ultimate and just take Yagao or Loken out of the fight, that's what will be key for JDG. It's Kanavi's ultimate.
Okay, keep your eyes out for that Lamb's Respite. I'm looking at Yagao, I'm looking at Knight, I'm looking at these mid laners that have been really the story of this game. Ooh. Herald in the mid lanes coming down. Lumao easily dodging the arrow, has to flash away from the Solar Flare and the Zenith Blade. Now JDG onto the Dragon, but they've got to be cautious on this one because Karsa's around and he has his smite available. Karsa one level up in between the junglers. Lamb's Respite denies the smite from Karsa, and that should mean that Kanavi can get the Drake, but it's healed up a little bit. And in the meantime, Top Esports are looking for the fight. Oh no! It was Knight that gets the Dragon, but he answers with Jackie Love's life. Karsa's stuck in the bit, flashes out of the play, and now Knight chased down. Zoom's about to turn Mega as he jumps over the wall, but he won't follow up on the play here. It's one pick for a Dragon Soul, and Knight, you go. What? He missed!
Oh my god!
Yagao missed!
He's had a great game so far, but that was hard to watch.
That was...
I mean, he didn't have vision, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it was blind, but still unfortunate there.
It was sad.
It was very sad for Yagao. He's still 3-0-3. He's still having an amazing performance. A tier 2 goes down.
His Sleepy Trouble Bubble hit percent is still like 99.3 or something.
He's still doing pretty all right on this Zoe and against Knight as well. But Knight, we've been criticizing him this game. He's been the one getting caught out by Yagao, but takes the dragon. He doesn't have a spell book. He doesn't have a smite. He just gets
I can't believe Kanavi missed that one because, like you said, use the Lamb's Spite. It prevented the smite from Karsa. He smited too early. The dragon was able to stay alive. And then once we get back to the dragon smite, Kanavi smited too early, and it allowed the Syndra to pick it up.
And the heal out of the Lamb's Respite, getting the dragon back up to 1,500. And then JDG had to kind of focus on the dragon instead of the team fight as well. They were able to pull out an advantage in the end. Minion wave will be cleared by Loken. Facebreaker onto Yuyanja. TP coming through from Zoom as well. Oh no, it's from Yagao, I'm sorry. Ignite comes in. Yuyanja's gone. See you later. Lumao with the kill there. And now JDG, what more can they find? Yagao looking for a trouble bubble. He's going to go over the wall straight onto Knight here, but it doesn't quite find it. The follow-up route won't happen. JDG back in control of the map, though. Oh, hang on, Knight, you've stepped too far forward. Doesn't have flash, doesn't have anything. Has the cleanse, though. It keeps himself safe. Somehow it's turned around. And Kanavi's the one to fall.
And once again, the Phase Rush plus the Nimbus Cloak probably giving you enough movement speed to get behind the other members of TS and make sure that Paddle Star doesn't take him down.
And I want to explain my prediction quickly here. Actually, no, I don't have time.
Don't explain anything.
He's going to go for a play, but Zoom is here. Zoom's happy to take a 1v1. He's on this now. He's about to turn Mega, but Karsa deters the play. I want to explain my prediction quickly, because Top Esports, I predicted them 3-2, and you know the difference maker is the clutch factor on this team from Jackie Love, from Knight, from 369, across the board. I feel like in these clutch moments, it's Top Esports that can come out on top.
Yeah, and clutch factor is a term you hear a lot in maybe other esports, but not as much in League of Legends. But it definitely feels like a word that belongs in LPL when you do have players like Knight, like Jackie Love on other teams, like Rookie, even on JDG, right? Players like Zoom many times being that clutch player. But I agree with you, when you look at Top Esports across the board, so much experience, so many of these clutch players who step up in big moments.
But the big question will be, can Top Esports live up to that reputation? Because so far in this game, it has been JDG with the clutch players, specifically Yagao, who's looking for more nearly one-shots Karsa. That was Unleashed Power used by Knight for just half of Yagao's health. It's not often you say just half of someone's health, but there you go. When it's compared to what Yagao's doing, it's not enough.
That is the best part, right? To where he is the most, I don't want to say overlooked, but he's not one of the stars of this team.
I'd say he's an underrated mid laner for sure.
Yes, underrated is definitely a fair word, but at the same time, right, he's not the star of this team. He's not what the team is built around. And it's so amazing to see that in Game 5 of the final, he is the one who I'm sure asks for that first pick, says, hey, give me the Zoe, I can carry on the Zoe. And then we see it come out here where he's, again, had an amazing game.
Let me take out my hot buddy in style. That's what he's saying in the draft. And so far, it's looking incredible. But Knight, certainly no slouch right now. He has his Spellbinder as well as the Ludens, so he's only going to get stronger. Top Esports managed to find their way into this mid lane and grab their second tower of the game. But more importantly than towers, Baron is on the map right now, and Elder is spawning in 2 minutes' time. We are getting towards the game-ending objectives, Luke.
You know, Munchables, real quick, I'm not a fan of when you go, it's not Morello, but like Oblivion Orb item in general into Merc Treads, not getting the max value of, you know, like either of that pen. So, interesting build coming out from Yagao. And, you know, of course we know Chad is molding about Morello in general.
That's true, but let's be honest. There are a great many things in the LPL that are suboptimal, to say the least.
Oh my god.
But that's why we love it. That's why we're here.
It's more than many. It's, I'd say, most things.
Probably true here, but you know what? The individual play is what makes it all right. Yagao, you know what? He's earned the right to build whatever he damn well pleases.
I'm going to say, because I'm sure maybe after this fans are asking, well, why are they building these items? Tell us why. Honestly, I'm sure a lot of it is based on feel. It's not the math that, you know, you guys are pointing out. It is based on, like, hey, he can get faster stats if he just finishes Morello now. It feels good.
So, Elder Dragon now spawning in 45 seconds. And Lyric, I asked you before the last dragon was taken what to look out for in this fight. I'm going to ask you once again because it feels to me that Knight can be a massive factor.
Exactly. I'll just point out who we need to look out for TS. And to me, it definitely is still Knight and Yuyanja being able to find that burst combo out. because the fact is, again, JDG just have so many tools to play through this fight, that Knight has to be the massive difference maker.
Zoom is on 3 items as well. He is going to be scary when he hits that Mega Narf form. This time around, he's not exhausted before the fight, but the CC chain is there, and JDG are gone from this one. 2 picks right at the start of the fight, and that means Top Esports, they can go to Elder.
And we saw the ultimate coming out from Yanja. It was so beautiful. That was the clutch factor you were talking about, Munchables.
Yanja's going to be stunned up, though. They can't quite finish the kill on this Leona, and it's turned around onto Loken.
Well, Leona's dead, but you get a kill on the enemy AD carry. That is definitely worth.
Yagao, you got to have a highlight moment and a half here, but it's not going to happen. And now 369 is the one to find himself some highlights, getting a kill onto Yagao, and suddenly Zoom, he's awfully lonely on this map.
They come into the game, they pick red side despite the fact that blue has won every game. They fall behind early on a comp that looks like it needs to get ahead, and they find those key engages to win out.
And this with JDG ahead in gold the entire time.
They're
but
still
when
ahead.
It comes to the perfect moment, it's JDG, the apple crumble before our eyes.
And, you know, this game is obviously not over. This game is still extremely close, but Top Esports with the Elder, with the Baron, are in a dominant position. And Knight was the one who set it all up. Key scatter of the week coming out, chained into the Leona ultimate with the enchanted crystal arrow to follow up to set it all up. Knight was struggling this game, but is showing up in the moment that it matters.
This has been the game that he has not been able to have an impact. And then finally, when Elder comes up, when it is the most important moment of the entire game, it is Knight that steps up to the plate to make the play happen. And now it's Top Esports with a minute on Elder buff, with 2 minutes on this Baron, that can try and put their foot down on this series.
And they have great siege potential coming out, right? They have the Jace poke flying in, the volleys from the Ashe, the Syndra scatter of the week that can set everything up.
And JDG, they've got to do everything that they can to contest here, because let's bear in mind, this is Top Esports. If you let them have the inhibitor, they will not stop at the inhibitor. They will keep on pushing, and they will end the game. 50 seconds now on the Elder as Top Esports push in. There's no way for JDG to contest in a team fight. They're going to allow this inhibitor down. The question is, what else can Top Esports get?
They want everything.
They want to end the game, that's for sure here. Loken forced out by a shock blast out of 369. Trouble Bubble comes through onto Knight, but he's going to get out with his life for now. Kanavi forced into the Lamb's Respite as well. A lot being used as Casa dashes out of the curtain call. 369 fleeing from the play. JDG hold on.
Yep, lucky for the side of JDG that TS don't have much of a front line.
Zoom's gone in, but this is a little overzealous. Elder buff is still in play right now, and Zoom is going to fall. That could be everything. As Top Esports now with a man advantage, they re-engage this siege.
And Jackie Love once again flashing forward into danger.
No way they're going to make this one happen with the damage out of Yagao. That might be enough to force them back. Jackie Love steps forward. In goes Loken, though, and he finds Knight. This is the turnaround for JDG. Yagao jumps forward. Can't find himself a paddle star. Lumao threatening the engage here, and it means they have to back away. Surely, Jackie Love caught by a drop ball, but he has the cleanse. Wow. Now he's onto Lumao, but the haymaker's there. In goes Yanja. Trying to turn it. 80 carry for support. Yagao cannot get back in, and it's going to be Yanja falling as well.
Everyone's falling on both sides, Munchables. Loken so clutch walking forward, finding that fort shot onto Jackie Love. They hold on.
And you know what? I take it all back. It's not just Top that have clutch factor, because Loken and Yagao stepping up.
And look, after everything that just happened, still only a 2K gold lead for the side of TS. But I love that you highlight Loken, because once again, this guy, in my opinion, has truly been the underappreciated member from the side of JDG. He's looked so good this year. And we see Yagao goes forward, gets to Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Cleanse comes out. Still TS a bit too far forward. Loken able to find that nice hit onto the side of Jackie Love.
It wasn't even a fourth shot.
That
was a normal auto, and it just annihilated Jackie Love. That is terrifying. Knight and Jackie Love both assassinated by Loken.
And guess what, Munchables? 2 minutes until another Elder Dragon. We get to do it all again.
This is the final game that I was praying for, Lyric. Look at the gold right now. It's only 2,000 in favor of Top Esports. They've got the Dragon Soul, but it's only a cloud, so it's not the end of the world. Chaos popping the Ghost Blade here. I thought he was going to make a play, but nobody's in the bot lane.
I also want to highlight that he did go that like full lethality build, right? So he's all about bursting down the prime carries from JDG. It's not about hitting frontline.
This goes back to what you were saying earlier on in the game, that when it comes to straight up scaling, it feels good for JDG. Lumao just about dodges the stun here. Answer from JDG in this bottom side means that top cannot push to the tier 2.
And like you were saying, right, it seems like that's acknowledging that they know they don't win scaling, that they know they need to win out in picks, in burst, and they're going to index into that region heavily.
Zoom now here. Going to be alone trying to clear this wave. Top Esports is still going to stick around. It's 1 minute until this Elder. They're going to need to get a reset if they want to be able to contest here. They need to get some extra items if they have the chance. 369 just going to shove this wave in. And then look to head back to base, because we've got Elder in 50 seconds, Lyric. And once again, this is an objective that can end the game.
And I love it. We see Yanja coming out from base with 2 control wards. Even Knight coming out with the control ward, being a bro, trying to set up his team correctly.
Hang on.
Navi
moving in here. And it feels so good to see Loken performing so beautifully after being removed from Top Esports at the end of last year, coming into 2020 now against his old team. But it's Lumao that's caught out by the Crystal Arrow here. Nice ult from Kanavi, keeps the team alive, but that's a big ult on cooldown. The stun there, but Kanavi gets out with his life somehow. Yagao keeping everyone at bay, but these shock blasts are doing so much work.
And I mean, now Kanavi has to back, Lumao has to back. This should be an Elder for TS. Oh, he's actually farming up and healing up. Lumao as well, of course, is set, does have that passive health regeneration.
And you know what, JDG, they didn't have an option to just give this one up. They have to fight right now. Shock Blast goes wide. Zuma's had to go back to base to contest the minion wave that is on their Nexus towers right now. But he's going to be about to turn Mega as he teleports into the fray. Knight looks for the stun, but he won't find it here. Elder resets, and it's JDG now that are on the objective. Looking to burn this one down as Dracula gets onto Lumao, who's incredibly low. Kanavi falls, his ult wasn't available, and it's going to be Top Esports winning out the fight. Top Esports winning out the series as they take Elder. A stun through onto Yagao, and it's 369 to finish the fight.
Exactly, these players have been waiting so long to do it. Karsa and Dracula have been here before, but 369 Knight and Yanja are ready.
They're moving down the mid lane, and Top Esports will not stop for nothing. This inhibitor doesn't mean anything to them. There's only one Nexus turret remaining, and Top Esports will destroy it. The old guard have fallen, and a new era begins in the LPL. After years of denial, the second place was no longer good enough, and Top Esports are your LPL 2020 champions!
恭喜，再次恭喜我们的滔博战队。
Congratulations again.
夏季赛上
Top Esports, you are able to get the championship for the summer split.
耶 ，nice， 太棒了！我们邀请大家一起来到我们的
So
荧
we
幕前，接受一
invite
下
all
我们
of you
简
to
短的
get
采
into
访
the
和大家一起
get
分享
on
一
the
下此刻
stage
你
and
们激动
share
的心情。
about your exciting
我
emotions
先从那
right
边
now.
从卡萨那边开始
So let's
让
from
大家一起
Casa.
分享一下你们现在的心情。来，
Share about your feelings right now.
还是很开心的吧，就拿到。
I'm very happy that we're able to get this LPL trophy
就
for Jackie Love.
还是就现在也是挺激动的吧，因为
I'm quite excited right now
而且还是最后
because this is my very first LPL summer title. And in the fifth game, we were able to make a comeback, so I'm very happy about that.
但是在身边，我们大家观看比赛的过程当中，队友
Although
的
you
心情怎
didn't
么样？
manage to get on the stage, but as an
队友夺冠还是很
important member of Top Esports, how do you feel?
好吧。
祝福他们，对不对？好，
So
来，接下来我们一起要
I
恭喜到
really give
Knight
my
心情怎么样？
appreciation to all of them. And how about Knight?
都要被翻盘了。
I'm very happy because in the fifth game, I even thought we cannot get this champion, but with this victory, I'm quite happy. And for 369,
从突破口吧，因为对面比较一直抓我，我也比较好抓。
for some games, I didn't perform that well, but generally, I'm quite happy about this.
最感谢的就是
And for our coach,
我的队员们，因为他们打了5把，真的
I really
特别辛苦。
appreciate all my
这次
all
拿
my
到
teammates.
的夏季赛冠军也是突破了我们队史，希望在后面
And
的世界
this
赛我们也可以
this
继
is
续
a
突
new
破。
record for Top Esports with this LPL trophy.
感觉公公太猛了，我爱公公。
And for Chu Chu,
在这
I
边
think
笑
Yu
声当
Yuanjia
中都可以
played
透露
so
出内心
well,
充满
performed
着
so
这份
well
喜悦
today. I'm
来
very
大家
happy
能不能
about him.
分享一下此刻的心情。
And lastly, Yu Yuanjia, how do you feel?
开心的，就很
I'm
感谢
quite
还有队友。
I'm quite excited, and I really appreciate
那
all
这
the
样
coach
你
teams
是
and
最后一
also
个接
all
过
my
话筒，我想
members.
问一下，接下来大家有没有定下新的目标和心愿？
So, what's your next goals and expectations?
现在可以看得出是非常
We want
平
to
静
have
的
a
心
good
态，可以去
performance
未来
in the World
面对一
Championship.
切的挑战，我们将会做
So
足
I believe you are
所有
going to
充分的
have a
准备。
good
而接下来让我
momentum
们一起
and a good
为
mentality
滔博
to
加油的
try
同
to
时
face
同时我也
against
要
with
感
the
谢你们的对手，是因为你们和对手
following
共同为我们上
matchups.
演了5场精彩的对决。在接下来，我们将会欢迎我们唐晋体育联席
And
CEO
now we're
林
going
松
to
先生
invite
为我们的
Mr.
冠
Jin
军战
from
队颁发
TJ Sports
奖
to
金支票
present
板。
the reward check for our champion group. So let's invite Mr. Lin.
所有支持和喜爱滔博战队的朋友，可以隔着屏幕为他们欢呼了。感谢 Leo。
For
我
all
们大家
the
一起合影
people
留念一
that
张
you are supporting Top Esports, you can yelling for them.
好，谢谢。
behind the
请
screen
Leo 先留步一下，而接下来我们将会留有一个很大的悬念和期待。那究竟我们的
And then,
FMVP 会是
Who's
谁
going
呢
to be our FMVP for
让
this
我们一起来
summer
恭喜
final?
Knight，
Congratulations, Knight! You are the FMVP
我们将会
for
为你
this
来颁
summer
发
final.
FMVP 的奖牌。欢迎唐晋体育联席
And
CEO
we're going to
金立波
invite
先生，欢迎。
Mr. Jin from TJ Esports to represent the medal for the FMVP.
LPL 夏季赛总决赛
2020
Knight
LPL Summer
谢
Split
谢
FMVP
Bobby
will
跟大家
be
一起
Knight
合影一张好吗 ？Knight 也归队，我们大家一起拍张照片。
and we're going to take a photo together.
谢谢，请望向镜头。好，再一次感谢 Bobby，谢谢 Leo，谢谢你们，可以先休息一下，谢谢。
And congratulations
好，那既然
again.
来到我身边了
And
拿到了这一块陈
I
真真的
really
奖
want to
牌
give thanks
是
to
不是
all
内心也
the
有一些得奖
guests
感言想要抒发一下？
and for
这属于
Knight
你个人的一份
with
荣
this FMVP title. How do you
一
feel?
晚有点没打好吧？上决赛前说了，我一定要替队友们，就还是再努力要去打。
Like previously, I didn't like perform that well. So for this time, I really want to give this trophy for all my teammates.
世界赛肯定要为LPL拿个好成绩，去加油了。
And for our next goals, we have already been the first seed. So as representing the LPL region, we are going to perform better in the future.
接下来所有的时间都是属于你们尽情的捧杯狂欢的时间，恭喜你们！
And then the remaining time is for you guys. You guys can celebrate together and bring that trophy together.
It's a beautiful thing to watch there, and it just feels so good to see Knight finally win himself a trophy. The same for 369. They came second so many times in the past, and now they will be denied no longer. They get to write their names in the history books of the LPL.
You know, I'm probably an outlier, but the most wholesome part for me was when they asked Chocho, "Hey, how do you feel?" And he's like, "Man, I'm so proud of you, Yanja. Like, what a nice bro, what a mentor as well." Because obviously Chocho now plays support, before was an AD carry, and has been a long-term veteran and has helped shape you, Yanja, who's again improved incrementally over the year and definitely had a solid performance in this final.
And it feels so good to see everyone on the side of Top Esports having a great series here. Felt the same on both sides of the board, honestly. I don't think either team had a significant player that didn't perform here today. We had such an incredible final, and Top Esports as well. Like, the individuality. Knight was having a rough game 5, but comes through at the last second, gets that scat of the week that wins them.
The thing is, think about it as well. These teams have now played 2 best-of-5s this year, and they're not 5-5. Like, they are completely on equal ground. We're going into Worlds. Maybe we get the matchup once again.
I certainly hope so. I cannot wait to see what is going to happen between these teams at Worlds. And not even between these teams, but like the rest of the world, you better be nervous looking at that final, because my God, these teams look scary.
Exactly. And another thing I want to mention is what we talked about in game, that Top Esports are now first seed. So they will not have to go into a group with, again, a potential Damwon, a potential G2, you know, whoever comes out ahead in these regions, to where JDG now, the water's going to be tested, not necessarily for them when I think about it.
Yeah.
I feel like the other regions first
I feel like
seeds,
everyone else should fear the group that JDG is in.
You know, congrats, again, DRX, Damwon, whoever wins LCK or EU, like, you get JDG in your group.
It's like,
best of luck.
Good luck fighting for the second seed of the group. We got some highlights of our series here, because my goodness, were there a lot of highlights. Jaculov playing so beautifully on this Ashe as well.
Yeah, it looked good, and this was the fight that Knight, of course, found the massive pick on. He set up the scout of the week and brought them into the game, and this play, in my mind, really won him that finals MVP. And then we see them once again, they continuously would go towards this Elder. Yuyanja almost looking like he's going to get picked off, but the other members walk forward. All the bursts coming out from the combination of Knight and 369. Zoom trying to go in to make a big play. It was completely understandable. Yuyanja follows up, goes too far forward. And this was the Loken highlight, if I remember. We don't actually get the Loken highlight because he lost.
JDG lost, so they don't get
But
any
it was
highlights
cool.
on this one. It was a lot down to how Jaculov performed during that final team fight, able to chase people down. And I have to say, I'm so happy for Knight this split, not just in terms of him winning the championship, which obviously incredible from him, as we see Jaculov just destroy Lumao here. But most importantly, getting the regular split MVP and then getting the finals MVP. What a way to enter the world stage.
It is definitely, like, been way too long for Knight not to make a debut on the international stage. Of course, he's played at things like Rift Rivals, like MSC this year, but truly being on the world stage, especially in your home country, is going to be something to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And people kind of discrediting MSC to some extent. It's great for Top Esports to finally have a championship that nobody can discredit. Nobody can discredit the LPL Summer Finals. This is one of the most coveted trophies in the entire world of League of Legends, and certainly with how LPL have been performing internationally recently. So amazing stuff out of Top Esports, and what a heartbreaking way for this series to end for JDG as well. After such a incredible year, they're still going to be going to Worlds second seed. There's still a great future ahead of them, but it's got to be heartbreaking to lose at that final moment. Like
the heartbreaking part is like, okay, well, blue side, check. Take away the enemy mid laner, check. Oh, have a scaling comp and have like a 4K gold lead, check, and then it's gone. You lose.
The hardest thing for JDG is that This is a team that was built around Kanavi in the jungle. Kanavi was the guy that got caught out multiple times on the Kindred in this last game. Missed the smite on that Cloud Drake that got the soul in favor of top esports. A couple of moments there that Kanavi is going to be regretting going into Worlds. Still makes it to Worlds, still gets second place in the LPL, which is certainly not anything to sniff at, but he's going to be beating himself up when he goes to bed tonight.
That's true, and I mean, this is going to be one of the ones you look back on and obviously going to have a lot of regrets. Again, at least for them, you went to 5 games against TS. It was back and forth. I feel like this is one of those series that, as a coach, you tell your players, hey, you know, everyone's a winner. Of course, everyone is, everyone's still going to beat themselves up. That feels like a participation trophy, right?
Yeah, it's like everyone's a winner. It's like, yeah, sure, but they're the actual winner.
They have a trophy.
It's like the emotional win, not quite as valuable as the actual win. And I have to say, just top esports, 369 as well, looking so good on this Jay, showing that he has more than one style, showing that he can play the carries, he can play the tanks, he can play whatever his team needs. And Yuyanja, I'm just so excited for Yuyanja stepping up to the plate and being the support that this team needed.
It's just going to be so great for him, even looking ahead to next year, to where your full year, you made it to 2 finals, you won one of them, you're now going to Worlds. Like, the amount of experience you've accrued in 1 year is like 5 years in another region or on a middle or bottom tier team. So it's going to be nice for his growth. And I'll take a step back and talk about 369, because the thing that's great about him to me is that, sure, I don't think his final was as good as his semifinal, but still, if his final is like a 5 to 7 out of 10 and his semifinal was like an 11 out of 10, that just shows why this guy's so valuable, because you're always either going to get a decent performance or an absolute standout who's going to carry the game by himself.
And people always talk about him rolling a 3-6 or a 9, right? But him rolling a 9 is like any other top laner playing 12 out of 10, you know? Like, his ceiling is so exceptionally high. And it can be said for everyone across the team of top esports. Like, when we talk about Jackie Love, who played incredibly across this series, maybe the Senna game having a couple of rough moments, but generally speaking, played so beautifully. Like, his skill ceiling is just unbelievable.
I mean, even the Senna game, I remember so many clutch flashes where he clutched, you know, got the slow onto the enemy and it set up the kill. So
I guess it was more Yagao playing well than Jackie Love playing well.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, it comes with how he plays, right? That sometimes he didn't get caught out. And I think that was the game of, well, every other game Loken was on Ash. I was going to say he got hit by an Enchanted Crystal Arrow, because I feel like Loken also had a pretty decent series, which just highlighted how much better that Jackie Love played, because Jackie Love, as always, a standout.
And it feels fantastic to see Jackie Love as well. Winning out in a final here when he's not relying on the Ezreal, he's not relying on the Kai'Sa, these picks we were expecting, these comfort champions for Jackie Love to come through, playing the meta champions and still looking amazing.
Well, and this hasn't been a widespread opinion, but it is one I've at least seen touted a little bit of, like, well, you know, Jackie Love had the Shy, Jackie Love had Rookie. How good is Jackie Love really? Well, okay, you saw players like Knight on your team, but you look at how Top Esports was performing before Jackie Love joined. They were not doing good. They were like a middle-tier team at best in the LPL, really struggling. Jackie Love comes in, they make a finals, they get an MSC trophy, now an LPL trophy. This man can't be doubted.
And I think a lot of people over in the Western fan bases maybe don't realize, like, Top Esports started this year off in pretty shaky form. They had Photic as the AD carry. Jackie Love comes in, and it was a complete about turn for this team. They went from 0 to hero, and so much of that can be credited to Jackie Love in that bottom lane. And my goodness, has he grown into the role, and it feels like Karsa as well. I mean, Karsa was always going to make it to Worlds. Karsa always makes it to Worlds, but for him to win the championship just feels so fantastic.
The thing I love about Karsa is, if you guys got to see the Trash Talk video, I feel like it's very representative of, like, Karsa as a person in his play, because it's just so troll. It's so, like, he doesn't care. And, like, there's, like, standout moments in the Trash Talk video where he actually does Trash Talk. That's, like, his play, right? All split long, it's like, it's okay. He's doing his job. And then in playoffs, like, bam, this guy is here to carry.
The opposite for Jackie Love.
Yeah.
Jackie Love in the Trash Talk video, like, everyone else is kind of jovial, laughing, beaming. And then Jackie Love comes in with, like, the stone-faced, I am going to destroy you. It's not even Trash Talk. He's just threatening him at that point. Enough of our waffling. We're going to head back over to the analyst desk, where I believe we have an interview with one of our champions.
Hi guys, welcome to the interview. This is Wendy, and we have invited Karsa to join us. So could you say hi to the audience first?
大家好，我是 TES 的卡萨。
So congratulations on today's victory, and I believe this is the first LPL title for Top Esports. So in this very meaningful moment, how do you feel right now, and how do you like to comment on your performance generally for today? 那首先恭喜你们获得了本场比赛的胜利，相信这也是滔博队史上的第一个 LPL 的一个冠军。那么在现在这个意义非凡的时刻，你的现在心情如何呢？又怎么样去评价自己整体的一个表现呢？
今天表现的还算可以吧，因为对阵的是很厉害的卡纳比嘛，然后我觉得拿到这冠军也代表我们是在 LPL 最强赛区的，就是我们也做到了我们自己就把自己水准发挥出来了吧。
I think I performed quite well today, and also I'm able to face against with Kanavi. Is also a very strong jungler in LPL, and also we're able to get this champion from LPL region. I think it also means that we are a very strong team. We have performed as ourselves. So my next question is, you have mentioned Kanavi. Definitely, Kanavi performs quite dominantly in this summer split. So how do you feel about facing against this old spring rivals again in this summer final? 那你刚才是提到了，就是面对的是卡纳维选手嘛，其实他在这个赛季的表现整体也是非常的，就是表现非常的出色的。那么你在夏天再次遇到了这样春节的老对手，是有什么样的一个感想呢？
主要跟他交手次数也蛮多的嘛，所以就觉得说，可能对上他的话，还是更了解他的很多习惯跟路线吧，所以自己没有什么太大压力。
Actually, I've performed against with Kanavi for lots of times, so I'm quite familiar with his jungling passing, and also so I don't feel much pressure on this. So my next question will be, actually for today's best of 5, there's so many unexpected picks appears on the stage, and also you have picked the Gragas in game 3, which is uncommon to see in current meta. So could we know why did you guys make this choice in this crucial finals? 那么其实在今天的比赛中也出现了非常非常多就是大家意想不到的 BP 选择。那在第3局你是选出了9桶这样的一个角色，其实在现在的版本它并不是非常强力的一个打野英雄。那想问一下，为什么会在这么重要的决赛拿出这样的一个英雄选择呢？
主要我们第二把第3把吧，然后我们中单是选择了一个卢锡安嘛，然后想说就是因为卢锡安是 AD 英雄嘛，所以我们还是要补一些 AP 伤害在里面。
Actually, in game 3, our main laner Knight have chosen Lucian, which is an AD champion. So as a jungler, I want to choose some AP champion. So I think Gragas will be a good choice. And so my next question will be, once again, this final comes into the 5th game. So after the 2-2 scoreline, how did you guys manage to stabilize yourself and also prepare for the very last matchup? 那么下一个问题是，就好像历史重演一样，今天的决赛再次打入到了第5局。那么在2-2的比分之后，你们是怎么样去稳住自己，然后调整好心态去迎接最后一局的决胜局呢？
其实也没有特别去调整什么吧，因为我感觉今天打下来的话，我觉得我们状态还是比京东要好很多吧。然后我觉得我们输的局基本上都是我们自己浪掉的吧，所以我们就基本上就稳住心态，然后正常的去玩而已。
So actually, we didn't do much preparations or the changes. Actually, for today's momentum, our momentum is better than Jingdong Gaming, than our opponents. So we just calm down and stabilize ourselves and play by ourselves. So that's why I think we are able to get the victory. And also in game 5, actually the opponent's team was in a lead from the very early stage. But you guys managed to get a very clean comeback with a decent team fight around the Elder Dragon pit. So could we know who made the shot call there and what gives you confidence to just make this hard engage even though you're in a disadvantage? 那其实在第5局的时候，对面前期是打得非常凶，而且一直都有一定的优势。那么你们是怎么样就是能利用一波非常漂亮的在远古龙坑团附近的一波团战，然后来整个的打回了一个局势？而且在那一波你们尽管是个不利的条件下，又是谁来进行了一个指挥，然后去勇猛的进行了一波开团呢？
主要那个时间点是我们阵容比较强势的一个时间吧，然后指挥的话，我觉得我们队的风格就是5个人都是指挥吧，就是看谁优势大，谁就会讲话比较多。
Actually, for the shot callings, we all of us are the shot callers who has a very good idea, we will just follow him. And also at that time mark, I think our compositions is very strong. That's why we just made the hard engage at that time point. So my last question will be, this World Championship actually is coming up soon. And there's so many fans all around the world are looking forward for top esports on the international stage. And also for this year, you are going to represent the LPL region with the top seed for that first trophy. And you are the veteran for the international tournaments, but some of your teammates, this will be the very first time for them to get into the World Championship. So do you have any goals or expectations towards that upcoming journey? 那么最后一个问题，在接下来世界赛也是马上就要到来了，全世界有很多的海外粉丝也非常的期待你们的一个表现和发挥。那其实对于你来说，你是久经沙场的老将了嘛？但可能有些队友还是第一次站到世界赛上的舞台。那么这一次滔博作为 LPL 的1号种子征战世界赛，你有什么样的一个目标和期许吗？
就虽然我也打过很多次全球总决赛了嘛，但成绩一直都不太理想。但我觉得这次我们就是我们这次是 LPL 1号种子嘛，就还是会自己最大的努力，然后想办法去拿一个好成绩。
Actually, although I'm a veteran for those international tournaments for the World Championship, I didn't manage to get a very good results previously. So for this year, as the first seed of LPL region, we'll definitely try our best to get a good result. So congratulations again. Definitely, we are looking forward for top esports in the World Championship. And this is the end of the interview.
Thanks so much, as always, Wendy, for the translation. And to Casa as well, for coming on the English stream and doing an interview with us for once. But that is going to just about wrap us up for today. And what a day it has been. I have to say, watching Casa chat to the camera there, he has one of the most infectious smiles of any man on the planet. And he's always got a little bit of a twinkle in his eye.
If you ever actually get to meet him, he's also like a very troll guy. Like the trash talk is very emblematic of how he is as a person, because he does not take a lot of things seriously. And that's a really fun guy to be around.
And as he says, like, historically, he's not been able to have the greatest performances at the World Championship. I'm hoping this is the year that all changes in top esports. They don't look like a team that is going to struggle when it comes to international play. We'll have to wait and see. But that is going to round out our finals, so let's have one last look at our bracket and what is to come over the next 3 days as well, because now we have top esports secured as our first seed here and JDG in second place. But our weekend is not done. Our regional qualifiers now begin.
Exactly. Tomorrow will be Suning versus LGD, and the winner of that game will be our third seed for Worlds. The loser of that will play the winner of IGFPX, which will be on Saturday.
It certainly will. And then Sunday will be the final series between the two winners to see who our fourth seed going to the World Championship will be. And which of these teams is going to terrorize people in the play-in stage of Worlds. If you have to go against IG as the seed, that is...
I love it.
I just feel terrible.
I love it. I love imagining, like, thinking about the team. Again, I coached in CBLOL last year, right? Think about the team from CBLOL. Think about the team from LJL, TCL. Hey, guys, you're potentially playing a world champion in your playing group. Best of luck.
Yeah, it's going to be something, that is for sure. I cannot wait to see how the next 3 games go. I cannot believe we've had another 5-game final, and Top Esports are your 2020 LPL champions. That's going to do it from us. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you all in Champ Select.